is a tough league. Once you're in the, you're sinking, it's really hard to get back to where you're grabbing ground. And that's what the good teams do. You just don't have time in the pro bracket. You just don't have time. You have to produce every weekend or you take the risk of relegation. You just gotta work hard. There's just no break to be one of the top 20 teams in the world. And people need to understand how hard it is to be a top 20 of anything in the world.
This is our first full pro season. We've gotten a chance to play all 4 of these teams that we're going to go up against. So we kind of understand, their tendencies as we've started to play them over this past season. So I don't think we're scared of anybody, really, at this point. It's just a matter of who's going to be the best on that day.
We wouldn't have came into the pro division if we didn't think that we could hang with the best of the best teams. I mean, obviously it's going to take a little grace period, but if we didn't expect to make Sunday, we would still be playing D1 and still be playing D2. Just like last event, once we made Sunday, it's not like, yeah, cool, we made it. It's like, yeah, that's expected, now go win. Doesn't matter who you're playing or how long we've been in this division, the expectation's to win.
Coming off our last Chicago event, we've had a lot of energy, a lot of excitement building up into our practices. And so with what we did in Chicago, making Sunday and going pretty deep for us, we're taking that into this event.
We've kind of found the right formula again of just grinding hard, setting up really good practices and organized practices and not necessarily change our roster, but change what we're doing with our roster.
Obviously, we know some of these guys have been playing against each other in the pro ranks for 10 to 15 years, so it's an uphill battle. But I think when you go toe-to-toe with these best gunfighters like we did against Dynasty and we're winning gunfights, I mean, that just gives you the confidence to say, hey, I've seen these guys as my idols, my whole paintball career, and that we're right there with them.
I really do think it's that playing together. You have those core teams, the higher up ones they've all been playing together for years. But once you see these guys moving and their gears rolling and they start kind of adapting to the pro, you see a lot, that's when they start getting picked up by other squads.
That's been the story of DMG every year since they've been pro, man. The first year they lost Tim Brusselback, they lost Thomas. The next year they lost Urena. I mean, every year we lose one of our starting players. So, I mean, we got a good camp, and I think that speaks to our camp because there's always somebody to step up and fill that void. But yeah, it's a struggle. Being a low-budget team, I mean, it's one of those things that someone gets a better offer, and it's hard for them to say no to that.
Definitely a few of the guys probably wouldn't be playing paintball anymore if it wasn't for this team, just because I think we have a certain bond that, a lot of teams do have, but not all the pro teams have.
Go! Here we go! Here we go!
You don't always get to play with your friends and you don't always get to play with your family, but at a certain point you play with those guys long enough and they become your friends and family. And I think, again, we've all made sacrifices to keep those guys around and to keep that core group together. We don't go out to impress other people. We go out to, we win for each other. We win for the guy next to us, and we win for the people that help us get here, like we said, and take care of us and run our team.
It's absolutely surreal to be a part of the organization, to be able to have a dream come true, to go pro with a lot of your friends and family, and make Sundays and potentially win the World Cup here.
The first goal on the list is to make it to Sunday. Then you're kind of at an all-new tournament. All the mistakes you've made before just are lessons moving forward in a way. If you make it to Sunday, you're glad the mistakes happen because you're a stronger team for it.
In Division III coming up, when we made Sunday and won our first divisional match, when that happens, there's almost like a tipping point within the organization, and everyone buys in and believes. At that point, you're like, I know how to get here. I know what it's going to take to execute to make Sundays consistently.
There's always pressure playing at this level, but I mean, that just comes with it. I mean, obviously playing on Sunday, you got a extra level of pressure because it's win or go home.
Your margin of error just gets smaller and smaller. So as you go up in divisions, that margin of error just goes from little to none at the end of the day in the pro division on Sunday. You got to be perfect.
Ideally, you go into the tournament to win the tournament, right? We're here to compete and we're here to win. But I mean, seeing how our season's gone, we got to take it one step at a time. It's do or die for us. I mean, we all understand the situation that we're in right now. It kind of comes down to it, if we're really pros and we're really the top athletes that we think we are, then we got to prove it. I like to embrace that kind of pressure. I like the pressure on our shoulders. I think it makes everyone focus and understand what we have to do.
If we're all playing as good as we all can play, then I think we can beat anybody. But our problem has kind of just been consistency of all 5 players playing as good as they can at one time.
We brought on a bunch of the new guys from our lower division this tournament to add depth to our roster to see if we can fill any holes if need be. And to be honest, kind of light a fire under the asses of the players that have been here and tell them that, they need to step up because their spot's not guaranteed. Marvin Gerber, he's a veteran on this team. Shane Howe, those guys have been here. They helped get that team to pro, and we're trying to keep that team pro. Everyone thinks that they're going to get an easy dub on us, so I mean, we come out firing and swinging, and I think we're a dangerous team in that mindset.
I'm asking everybody here to give everything they fucking have in this game right now. Put everything you have, every fucking point.
formed the Outlaws and ended up, we won the Pro Series of 7-man, the 2 events, and the World Championship, and then we won the PSP World Cup in semi-pro, and went on to win it the next year too, and then earned the PSP Pro spot, and then, you know, that was just such a, you know, kind of an emotional ride. I mean, we made Sundays 2016, 2017, 2018. I think that was the last year we had made Sunday, because after that season we had like a complete roster overhaul. We had tryouts, and I think we only had 3 players, original players show up, and it was just kind of it's been a rebuild from there.
It's almost impossible to just rip your team down and start new. You can't, because you're always concerned about relegation. They're out there fighting with top tier teams constantly. These guys just have time. They're gonna be a good team. They just need time to keep doing what they're doing. I took a lot of risks on a lot of guys. Christian Collins has not played paintball that long, and the guy's come a long ways. Ricky Smith's played paintball for he's 40 years old, and he's first season in the pro bracket, but he's holding his own. There's just a lot of guys like that are on the team. They need the time. They need time, but you just don't have time in the pro bracket.
Nobody likes to lose. Losing sucks. Like, everybody wants to win, and that's why, you know, if you're competing at this level, that's what it's all about. So it's like, you always want to go out there and win. That's always the goal.
Let's have some fucking fun and let's put some motherfuckers into the ground. Alright? Outlaws on 3. 1, 2, 3. Outlaws!
The first 2 events this year, man, we were just right there knocking on the door, watching all the points play out, just biting our fingernails, hoping we make it, and just kind of missed the cut both times. It's real disheartening, but it makes you hungrier, like getting close, and then, you know, you're just right there, you know, you just need that little extra to kind of push through the door.
We've been on the bubble so many times that we nicknamed ourselves the Bubble Boys. And man, I hate being right there.
It's a sick feeling. You don't ever want to put your fate in someone else's hands. That's the most frustrating thing about paintball. Every time you go 2-2, you're playing the numbers game, you're playing the margins, the head-to-head battle, and all the points on APPA. So you kind of get in a situation where you're sitting around looking on your phone every 10 minutes to see the score updates to see if you made it.
You're just kind of praying at that point to the paintball gods and just kind of hoping it works out in your way.
It sucks when you're in that situation, but when the outcome comes out positive, I mean, you find out you're going to Sunday, you come out in the lowest seed and you got nothing to lose.
biggest positive thing we can take away is going out on a win. You know, after 3 losses, we go into the offseason with a win, coming together. Had we gone out with a loss, you know, everyone's going to have their heads down and say, oh, we should have done this, we should have done that. But knowing what we did execute on, now we know how to win going into next season.
We made it happen today, right? I'm proud of you guys for that. Like I said, thank you for giving 100%, going wide open.
Hey, team on 3, team on 3. 1, 2, 3, 10!
You know, we were doing really good at first, and I don't know, we were running the same guys a lot. I don't know if some of them got tired, but Revo adjusted, we kind of didn't, and kind of just slowly trickled down, and you know, we let it get away from us. Sometimes it's frustrating because you've seen how people can play, the level they can play at, and then when they don't, you're just like, come on guys, like we're better than that. Man, we got a good squad, picked up some hungry guys. Look out for DMG next season.
Hard to learn to be a winner in the pro bracket. You got to be a winner when you get there and then continue to climb when you get there. You know, I had that team 7 years ago. In the rebuild, I've had a rebuild with a lot of players that weren't at that point. They're just young talent, plugged in, that have to learn how to win at the pro bracket, which was very hard. People got to understand this is a family. And families have, you know, problems and they have success. And every once in a while, a family needs to have a good, you know, just yell, whatever you want to call it, to kind of get the collective back together. And I believe we're at that place. You know, there's a good group of guys that work very hard, but we need to get back to winning. We need to get back to winning. And that's what this group of guys need to do.